Hello everyone, welcome back to Touch the Fire Twice. I'm Joshua, and I'm here today to do an in-depth sniff and comparison review of the HomeWorx by Slatkin & Co. White Sangria Candle. This is a candle, I will start right off the bat. Y'all are sleeping on this candle, and I don't say y'all because I'm not really from the South. Yins, Pittsburgh, yous, New York, y'all, whatever. People are sleeping on this candle in the sense that this was a 2018 original HomeWorx by Harry Slatkin release in the spring of 2018. I received this candle then. It was different artwork. They have sort of changed the artwork as we've seen with some of the recent releases. Really like zoomed in, bright, saturated, juicy, to borrow Kent, the Candle Channel, his terminology, juicy labels on these. And it came out that one time. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it then. And then it was not to be seen again until now, 2022. I'm really happy to have it back. I just grabbed one of these. I really do need to pick up more of them because it is really fantastic. When I say people are sleeping on it, it's very trifle, getting all of the hype. Rightly so, for the most part. Really great candle. Pink lemon shortbread. Tons of hype. New citrus bakery. People love it. Got it. I'm with you. White Sangria is so good. White Sangria is, I mean, of course we know Sangria is essentially just wine, white or red wine, mixed with fruits, usually mixed with some additional liqueur, either something kind of sweet like maybe an elderflower Saint Germain, or just a traditional triple sec, or something a little deep like a Grand Marnier with your bitter orange, sometimes or some rum or some brandy, some cognac. Almost anything's gonna work. With a little bit of sugar, some spices, you can do a nice, winter sangria or holiday sangria with some cranberry and some rosemary and pears and cinnamon and star anise. You can do your peach sangria. Any sangria is a good sangria, for the most part. This is a white sangria, so it's gonna be a white wine sangria. I do have two Slatkin & Co. oldies from the vault I'm gonna compare this to. Not a direct dupe, but reminiscent in some ways. The notes in this one, and I love that, we're getting 6 notes here. I love when they give us a ton of notes from HomeWorx. Sweet peach, white cherry juice, pineapple, coconut rum, apricot nectar, and raspberry. You have to pay attention to the specificity of these notes. So apricot nectar is going to be different than just the apricot, its fruit itself. White cherry juice, the juice is going to be a little bit different. White cherry is going to be different than, a black cherry or a sour cherry. Rum, coconut rum, these are all things that you really have to pay attention to. And that's the ingredients for the sangria without the wine, which, okay, that's fine. This is a classic Slatkin & Co. fruity drink fragrance in the sense that it is so intensely juicy. It is so sweet, but not cloying. It smells so authentic, like you just have a bowl of tropical fruit in front of you that is messy and so sugary, and don't take it outside because you're gonna get the bees coming at you. But it's sweet, but also tart, but tangy, but acidic, but your mouth just waters as soon as you smell it. And it's so complicated. There's so much depth to something that could just be a fruit salad and you're done with it, and that's that. This is one of, again, many fragrances that Harry does well. When we go back to, if we were to compare, which I'm going to, a couple of his old Slatkin & Co. at BBW, so the Slatkin & Co. era of BBW, tropical cocktail or just tropical blends, compared to what you get at Bath & Body Works now, you can see the difference between, okay, what does something look like when all of the coconut thieves is kind of the same now, and all of the pineapple is gonna be kind of the same, and it's just gonna be like some, scent 101 of mixing a couple things. Now, granted, do I still buy Bath & Body Works? Yes. Do I think they're fantastic? No, there's some that I really love, but there's a lot that I think are just kind of whatever. But usually you're gonna get a fruity, summery fragrance, and it's gonna have a couple of notes and be kind of straightforward and maybe a little muted. It might be some juicy, some nice ones, but nothing that's really super complex or elevated. This has all of those notes, and I said it with Garden Blooms, I said it with Kitchen Herbs. You actually can smell all of them in here. It's not just throw some notes on there for the sake of, marketing. And it's the intensity of all of them that is so unique, and the authenticity, really, really impressive. Sniffing it, heavy on peach. They don't list mango, but definitely some really juicy yellow, like the Mexican mangoes. They may be other countries as well, but specifically in Mexico, the Atolfo yellow mangoes are very popular. that has a depth to it, because mango almost has, it's in the pine family, so it has like some depth to it that mango always brings, beyond just like a sweet, fruity tropical. The peach, yes. I would almost get, there probably is almost like a Sauvignon Blanc wine or something in there, because there's a little bit of green and some acidity. Again, there's no green note listed here, but certainly there's some green in there, which could be some of the underripe fruit that you get in Sauvignon Blanc. Coconut, coconut rum, sure. Coconut itself I wouldn't really get, but just that little bit of a coconut that comes into a rum, certainly a white rum. This isn't like a spiced rum that's been aged in a barrel with, that has like baking spices from the oak and all that. No, this is sort of your white or silver rum, but not particularly boozy, because rum, it's very, very mild in here. It's an additive. Thinking through pineapple, yeah, I guess so, because pineapple and mango have that same sort of really bright, acidic pucker to it without being a citrus. Is really, I'd say almost, I don't get much citrus in here at all, which is fine. Like lemons, limes, oranges, not really, which is fine, because there's plenty of fragrances, your Cuban margaritas or citrus mojitos, that have that and do it really well. This isn't that. And also this isn't really, you don't get any like sugared fruit where it's like sugared berries or sugared citrus, the sparkling. No, this is the ripe tropicals of your mango, of your peach, of your pineapple. Raspberry and apricot, the apricot nectar, so the juice of the apricot, the really concentrated sweetness of that. But again, apricot in itself brings some floral notes to it, even if there's not a full-on floral in here. Apricot nectar could potentially mean like nectar from the blossom. I don't think so. I think it is more just like, you get a can of apricot nectar, like a concentrated thick juice, or like a freshly juiced with some of the, not pulp in it, but just like some of the meat of the fruit in it. Raspberry and the cherry, kind of just like a top note of that little bright sweetness, the redness, but it's just like the cherry on top, versus the big stars of the show are peach, which this is not a peach scented candle in the sense that a lot of folks don't really love peach in fragrance. They say it's a little too musky or just a little too, peach gummy rings or armpit, some people say. That's not what this is. There is peach playing in here, but it's really dancing across the more tropical side of the mango and the pineapple, with a little bit of the apricot in there, and again, sprinkling of on top of the brightness of the cherry juice, and the bright, sharp, almost not bitter, bright, almost tangy, puckery juice. Like this is not a super, super sweet cherry juice, like your black cherry merlots or your juicy juice cherry or your candied cherry. This I think is a little bit more of a tart, unsweetened cherry juice, which really balances nicely with the juicy, densely sweet flavors of your mangoes and your pineapple and your peach and your apricot nectar. Which again, I think apricot also sometimes brings a little bit of a creaminess to it. Not cream, but just like like a minor key in music, just like a little something extra in there, like a sharp or a flat. Now, what I compare this to, two OGs, classics, these both appeared in my Slatkin & Co. from the Vault, Harry Bring Them Back summer video, and that is Island Nectar and Mango Cilantro. I'd say it's more similar actually to the Mango Cilantro than the Island Nectar, but why I bring up Island Nectar is this is an example of white sangria, not a revamp or a redo or even a reimagining, but classically Slatkin in the execution of a super fruity juice bomb that could just be cloying sweet fruit punch. It is not. It is a unique layering of all of those really intensely sweet, acidic, bright, juicy fruits. Oh boy, Island Nectar, so good. Island Nectar notes were not on here, but again, Island Nectar leaves a little bit more, I think it's like the fruit nectar, but also some florals in here. Not much floral coming out at all in the white sangria, which many of Harry's fruits have florals and florals have fruits. This one, if there is a fruit floral in there, it's very, very light in the background, like a blossom or something or other. I really don't get any floral in that one. In this, you get a little bit of nectar, a little bit of more like tropical island. This is not as edible, but it's a very sweet, hot, bright, warm tropical day. Where I do get some similarities is the Mango Cilantro, in the execution of the fruit. So the reason why I specifically call it mango in this is because I do get, you know, I'd say like there's, if you poured this in here in the cauldron of fragrance and added some things to it, this is a good base for what this turns into. Maybe without the cilantro, less of the greens that you get from this. But that warm, round, bright sweetness of a yellow mango. This is what? Mangoes, cilantro, and white nectarine. Okay, nectarine, somewhat interchangeable for apricot. Very close to apricot or, you know, the peach. It's kind of in the family, right? This one, boy, love this. Hard to say that I like white sangria better, but I don't know. It's brighter, it's juicier. You definitely get some. I'm picking up now again. This is why I love to compare them. I'm getting more of the cherry juice coming out on this one. Maybe even the raspberry, but I think more so the cherry juice coming out on top of this one, which this doesn't have. That's what's really good about sniffing candles that you know aren't the same, but that are in the same family. Because this one you're getting, it's the stone fruits, the mango, a little bit of those cooling greens. This one, stone fruits, mango, throw in your pineapple, throw in this bit of that really sharp, tart cherry juice on top. The coconut rum, for me, is what I smell the least. I really don't get much of that at all. I think it's one of those, you know, the notes that you don't think you smell, but if it weren't in there, you would miss it being in there. There would be less complexity to the scent, which is fine. You need some notes that you don't hear as loud. And that's very much what the coconut rum is for me. And I'm happy it's not coconut meat heavy. Fantastic scent. This is one, it's a hot summer day. It really scratches that itch of wanting, again, whether it's a bowl of fruit salad or a tropical drink with or without the alcohol. If you think, oh, I don't like the boozy things or I don't really like wine, doesn't matter. You'll still love this. If you love bright tropical fruits, that is a beverage. This does feel like it's edible versus some scents that are tropical are, they've got the musks, they've got the woods in them, the things like that make it tropical, but not, you know, edible or drinkable. This is the edible, drinkable. If that's the kind of fruit you love and the tropicals you're looking for, this is the one to get. So highly recommend picking this one up, especially since it's coming back for the first time in 4 years. Yeah, can't say enough great about it. I love it and would love to hear what you all think about it. And until next time, take care.